On December 20th, 1968, a young couple went on their first date in a car. They wanted privacy, so they turned the car towards Herman Lake in California. In the car were 16-year-old girl Betty Lou Jensen and 17-year-old boy David Faraday. They were unaware that a strange man was following them. They had just stopped near Lake Herman when a strange car came from behind. The man sitting in it asked David and Betty to get out of the car. When they refused, the man pulled them over. To scare them, a bullet was fired at the rear wheel of their car, on which the man shot both of them. David was hit on the head, and the daughter was hit by 5 bullets on her back. After the scene, the man immediately ran away from the spot. This was the heart-wrenching incident that started the search for an infamous serial killer. Yes, we are talking about the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer is one of the most feared serial killers of the 20th century. During the 1960s and 70s, he terrified San Francisco with his terrifying attacks. He would send letters to newspapers and police officers proudly boasting about his murders and asking for answers to solve them. After committing his first 2 murders, he remained silent for 6 months, but then reappeared with a second murder case. On July 4th, 1969, it was the day of Independence Day in America. 18-year-old Darlene Ferrin and 16-year-old Michael Mazel had gone out in the car to get the fireworks supplies. He noticed that a strange car was following him. To deceive the car, he turned into the parking lot of Blue Rock Springs Park, but the following stranger also came into the parking lot behind him. First, he parked his car parallel to them, but after a few seconds he reversed the car and went away. Seeing this, Darlene and Michael took a sigh of happiness, but this happiness was only for a few moments. The stranger car came again, and this time the car blocked the way and parked at the back. A person came out with a powerful flashlight in his hand, which he hit on the faces of Darlene and Michael. Initially they thought that perhaps it was a police officer, but with this the person shot both of them. But he opened fire and immediately ran away in the car. Darlene died on the spot, but Michael survived in an injured condition. After some time, 3 children present nearby called the police. Michael had seen the face of the murderer, with the help of which the police later got a sketch of the murderer made. The most surprising thing about this incident was that on the same day after the murder, at 12:04 in the night, the Velio Police Department received a call from a stranger, which he was doing from a phone booth, but he disconnected the call before he could say anything. This was the first phone call made by the Zodiac Killer to the police. About a month later, on August 1st, 1969, the Zodiac Killer made 3 separate calls, wrote letters to different newspapers. In the letter, he also accepted the responsibility of the murder in Lake Herman and the murder of the girl who died in Blue Rock Springs Park on Independence Day. To prove his point, he told some such details which only the police can tell. It was known as to which bullet was fired, how many bullets were fired, and what clothes the victims were wearing. Along with the letter, the Zodiac Killer had also sent an encoded message, and he demanded that it be published in the newspaper the next day. This encoded cipher was sent to intelligence agencies for decoding, but at present this cipher could not be cracked. After the cipher was published in the newspaper the next day, a couple belonging to San Francisco cracked this cipher the same day. Cracked it, it was written that it is so much fun, it is more fun, killing wild game in the forest. Buzzman is the most dangerous a cipher. He also wrote that he believes in afterlife and is killing people. They will become his slaves in the afterlife. After the letters written to the newspaper, there was silence for 2 months, but the Zodiac Killer once again appeared with a new case. On September 27, 1969, a college couple went for a picnic on the banks of Berry Esa Lake. Present at the event were Brian Hartness and Cecilia Shep. They noticed a man approaching them, wearing a black hood with the Zodiac symbol on it. As they approached, Zodiac pulled out his gun and demanded money and car keys from the couple. Brian had 75 cents at that time, which he gave to him along with the car keys. So he returned the car keys to Brian and tied both of their hands with a rope at gunpoint. Then he took out his knife and stabbed both of them several times. Thinking that both of them were dead, the Zodiac Killer went back to the car and wrote a message on the couple's car and fled from there. In that message, the name of the place, date, time, and the name of the weapon were written. The couple gave a machete present nearby. When he was found injured, he was still breathing. She was taken to the hospital, but Cecilia succumbed to her injuries while Brian survived and told the police in some detail about the incident. Like his previous murder, Zodiac informed the police at 7:4 that night, called and told all the details of the murder. Here the police had discovered a special pattern in Zodiac's actions. Firstly, he used to target only young couples. Secondly, his attacks took place only on weekends or near holidays. Thirdly, he used to attack either at night or at night. He used to attack in the dark or in the evening when there was little light. Fourth, whatever he killed, he would proudly display it as if he was challenging the authorities. Fifth, most of the murders were committed at places which were known dating points. Sixth, most of the murders were carried out in vehicles. And finally, the seventh pattern was that most of the murders took place near water. These 7 patterns indicate that perhaps Zodiac is disappointed in love or has a special hatred for girls because in 2 of the last 3 attacks, boys survived. Although the police had no idea that Zodiac's next target was going to break this pattern, just 2 weeks after the previous murder, on October 11, 1969, Zodiac stopped a cab driver named Paul Stein at 9:30 p.m. and he was asked to go to Maple Street in Presidio Heights. When the driver reached his destination, Zodiac waited for the car to stop and then shot Paul Stein at point-blank range. Zodiac then got out and sat in the front passenger seat, and Paul he cut a piece of his shirt and took it with him. During this murder, 2 children were watching the entire scene from the 2nd floor of a nearby building. They immediately informed the police. They immediately turned to Maple Street, and on the way they collided with Zodiac, who was walking on foot amidst light fog. Now because the police were searching for a black person, hence they did not get much suspicion on Zodiac because he was not black. The police stopped Zodiac and asked whether he had seen any person in this area. Having seen something strange, Zodiac told from ahead that a man had gone in the next street waving a gun. So the police hurriedly went in the same direction. However, if the police officers had got down and seen Zodiac, they would have seen blood stains on his jacket. Zodiac once again managed to escape from the grip of the police, but the police found Zodiac's fingerprints in Paul Stein's car. After a few days, Zodiac again told the newspapers, wrote letters from, and told the entire story of Paul Stein's murder, and also sent a piece of Paul Stein's shirt for proof. This time he had threatened to attack the school bus. This threat created a wave of fear in the entire area. It ran, and the police started chasing all the school buses for the next several weeks, but there was never any attack on the school bus. With the help of the children who had seen the Zodiac, a fresh sketch of the Zodiac was made and spread among all the taxi drivers. But this time Zodiac entered the field in a new way. Just 10 days after killing the taxi driver, on October 22, 1969, Zodiac called the Oakland Police Department and said that he wanted to meet Melvin Bailey, who was a well-known lawyer at that time. Wants to Talk in TV show. It was a talk show of Channel 7 which started before time that day. After waiting for some time, Zodiac called but disconnected the call. Next time he called, the call took a longer time. During this call, Zodiac revealed his name as Sam. During the entire show, he made 35 calls, out of which only 12 were on air. During the calls, the lawyer asked some questions to which Sam kept giving straight answers. Later it was revealed that it was Zodiac had not made the call because the people who had heard Zodiac's real voice all said that it was not Zodiac's voice. Investigation revealed that this call was made by a mental patient present in Napa State Hospital. TV show drama. A few weeks later, newspapers received 2 more letters from Zodiac. Between these letters was an encoded cipher which he wanted to republish in the newspaper. The first cipher was cracked in a single day. It was so difficult that it could not be decoded for the next 50 years. A few years ago in 2020, 3 code breakers decoded this cipher with the help of computer software. In this cipher, Zodiac neither told anything about itself nor gave any important clues. In fact, he definitely said that I was not the caller in the TV talk show, whereas the police finally got a clue in the letter he had written along with the cipher to the newspaper editor, that this time he was threatening the police that he has made a bomb which is lying in his basement. This was the only thing useful in this letter written on several pages. If he was really telling the truth, then it means that Zodiac does not live in an apartment but in a house where there is a basement. Maybe, and at that time basements were so common in the Bay Area. It was not. That is, Zodiac does not live in the Bay Area. Perhaps Zodiac had made a mistake by telling that his house was in the basement. 5 months after these letters, on March 22, 1970, Zodiac tried to kidnap a woman named Kathleen Johns on Highway 132, but luckily, she escaped with her life. When the police showed Zodiac's sketch to Kathleen, she immediately recognized him. For the next 4 years, Zodiac kept sending many letters and ciphers. In some of them, he would tell the details of the murder, and in some of them, he would write a review of the movie. In the letter, he also told the location of the bomb, but the police neither found any bomb at that location nor any explosion took place. His last letter was received on January 30th, 1974, in which he had written the score of his murder like this: I-37 SFPD 0IE. I have committed 37 murders while the San Francisco Police Department score is 0, but the police said that Zodiac is giving higher numbers in Azarette, whereas the number of murders committed in his style is only 5. Police and other law enforcement agencies like CIA, after doing deep research on Zodiac's behavior and his method of murder, it came to the conclusion that Zodiac is not an ordinary person but has military-grade knowledge. The footprints found from the crime scene are also said to be the shoes of Wing Walker, which is normally found in any military store. Apart from this, he may also have experience of cryptology and ciphers. He may have acquired it during his stay in the military, now because the Zodiac Killer had created a fear in the whole of America, and he was also getting a lot of attention. And amidst this, many people also made false claims of being Zodiac to get attention, due to which it became more difficult for the police to search for the real Zodiac. Initially, the police's suspicion fell on a person named Arthur Lee Allen. A lot of evidence is going against Arthur. One was that he had a military background, and second, a watch was found from him on which Zodiac was written and the logo was also made. But neither Arthur's handwriting nor fingerprints matched with Zodiac. He remained in police custody for many years. Later, he died in 1992. The second suspect of the police was a man named Richard Gajkowski because his appearance resembled Zodiac, but apart from this, his handwriting and fingerprints did not match with Zodiac. Similarly, the police picked up a total of 50 people without any suspicion, but among them, there was no criminal whose entire profile matched that of Zodiac. Of course, this case got immense fame, but the real life of the Zodiac Killer remains a mystery till date in the world. That who was the Zodiac? Why did he murder so many people? And what was his real motive apart from the story of life after death? Hopefully, you guys will also enjoy this video. Will like and share a lot. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.